Miles, quick, get up here and do a Sarge impersonation. Hey everybody, how's it going? How's Saturday at RTX? If you don't know me, I don't know what you're doing here. But my name is Gray, and I have the privilege of serving as the head of Rooster Teeth Animation. And thanks for coming and hanging out. Let's just go down and do introductions real quick.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joe Nicolosi. I am the current writer and director of Red vs. Blue.
Hi, my name is Jordan Swears. I'm the director and writer for most things 2D, such as Camp Camp, RTAA, and stuff like that.
I'm Maggie Tomini. I'm the 2D animation producer, so everything that he does, I produce.
Hi, I'm Miles Luna. I am a co-director on a few things, and I'm the
You even did the sunglasses thing. That was beautiful.
And I'm the head writer of animation at Rooster Teeth.
Hi there. I'm Patrick Rodriguez, and I'm the art director for all of RT Animation.
Hi, my name is Kerry Shawcross, and I'm the co-writer of Ruby, and I'm the current director. Thank you very much.
Sunglasses are dark.
And a gentleman who was with us just a moment ago, but he's such a badass at putting out fires. He's off dealing with something right this second. Hopefully he'll run up stage as soon as he's available again. But please give a shout out when you see him to Cohen Wooden, the 3D producer. And then let's go on. Hey, Maggie, why don't you go ahead and introduce 2D crew that might happen to be here.
Yeah, so our 2D crew is small but mighty, so
Just like Maggie.
And loud
it sounds like we have our 2D lead animator. He's in the house, and we have a bunch of other animators, so if y'all want to stand up, we have some concept artists that might be here.
Yeah, everyone who's a part of the 2D team, stand up.
Jordan, your Nikki cosplay is perfect.
Yeah. It's okay. I have notes.
Then we've got our 3D team, we've got previs people, we've got the art team, we've got modelers and riggers and the animators, camera and layout. We've got our visual post team who does both effects and compositing. We've got editorial with audio and straight up editing. If you're part of the 3D team, please go ahead and stand up. I'm getting to that. I remember last year, I was going to do a thing. Now, you see, that also presumes that tech doesn't work on 2D stuff. But we have this department in animation that they're kind of the backbone, the infrastructure of our entire department. From IT to tools development to keeping our external software tools happy. If you're on the member of the Rooster Teeth Animation tech team, please stand up.
Thanks for getting the TV to work sometimes when it doesn't. Thanks, Josh.
And then we've got a new addition to the Rooster Teeth Animation family. Screw Attack is now part of Rooster Teeth Animation. Screw Attack. Yeah. Yeah, so, and in terms of just all the kind of cool extra things that are happening here at RTX this week, and you know, the Rooster Teeth Animation Festival is well underway, and Screw Attack has been in charge of a particularly cool late night programming track. So as soon as the convention center closes, if you don't know what you're doing that night, then consider heading over to the Marriott. Yeah, where Screw Attack, say what? Yeah, over to the JW Marriott, and for example, one of the things going on tonight is the rave, so please consider checking that out. But really, this is going to be, we're going to keep it kind of, light and conversational and whatnot. I kind of wanted to, we'll go down the road real quick. Tell everybody how you came to work for Rooster Teeth, what you're doing beforehand, anything that they might appreciate knowing about the crazy path that you might have taken to being where you are today. Joe.
Cool. Unlike I think a lot of people on this stage, I didn't sort of grow up through Rooster Teeth and get to the position I have now.
That assumes we ever grew up, but keep going.
I made short films in Austin for film festivals and the internet for a number of years, TV commercials, all sorts of random freelance jobs. I did an episode of season 14 out of Mega Blocks.
You did get something with Rooster Teeth one other time before.
Yeah, I did a short film, Wolfenstein short film, like 4 or 5 years ago.
There was the Kittywood Studios thing, too.
That's what it was,
that was
Kitty
mine.
Wood.
Yeah, that was
Bernie's
yours, yeah.
acting in my video. Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever, it's fine.
That had the skinniest Bernie of like any incarnation of Bernie ever. in
Yeah,
it.
that was like all the comments on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
Were like, Bernie's so skinny. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
a funny video.
But what about the jokes?
What about the jokes? Yeah, and then I've been working at Rooster Teeth since October, and it's just as amazing as you might imagine.
Aw.
You guys been following RVB 15? Yeah.
Silence.
I had to. Yeah, our RVB 14 was a fantastic opportunity for us to get a lot of stories that have been building up over the years out of our system, and a couple of cool ideas for people to play with, and for Miles to let the mercs do their thing. And again, it was just we were also trying out some new technology for some of the different pieces that we would decide how to use that in the future in the department. But it also turned out into be this amazing audition, basically.
It's kind of like The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And Joe got the rose.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Don't talk about a show you don't watch.
He had a
I watched like the first couple seasons, okay? And now I don't anymore.
I think Joe's the one we married. is the
Aw.
proper.
Jordan.
So yeah, I started out as a fan back in the day, and just for fun started doing these animations set to the podcast audio. It was just like, I was just trying to learn how to animate. I wanted to make an animated show, and I didn't have a microphone or a script, so I used the podcast audio, and that kind of took off on its own thing, and that was the birth of Rooster Teeth Animated Adventures. Did that for a couple years, just remote, and then moved here to Austin to work for Rooster Teeth full-time. Did a couple more years of just making RTA, and then finally we decided we should probably do more 2D shows, and kind of being the only one who was there at the time was the director, and been doing cool shows ever since, like Camp and X-Rain Vav and Sex Swing, and a lot of good stuff.
Jordan was the reason why we had kept Flash in the department for as long as we did.
I still have it. I use
Very
it for some stuff.
specific
CS5
version.
or what you
Yeah.
want.
It's Animate now. I hate it.
So I started as a production coordinator on the first season of RWBY, and kind of worked on that show for the first 2.5 seasons. And then during the third one, we started developing this 2D department. And so it was like, hey, I like working with Jordan and trying new things that are going to kill us. And so I moved over to be the sole 2D producer, and we've been growing the team since there. Oh, and I worked on the Gauntlet under Doreen, and I worked for Yvonne and Alan at some point. It was
I
messy.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the job you do like, though.
Yeah.
This is the
Yvonne, who's the chief operations officer of the whole company.
I was a student at the University of Texas working at GameStop, and I also volunteered at a organization called Texas Student Television, and there I met a lot of people like Brandon Farmahini, and I made my first Machinima series that was like really bad. But with that experience, I got an internship at Rooster Teeth, and for a while worked on season 9 of Red vs. Blue with Kerry and a bunch of other people, and then I think I worked in the graphic design department for a while. I was making t-shirts, and then just a bunch of other general PA work. And then one day we needed somebody to write a miniseries for RVB, and I happened to have some free time, and I submitted a script, and the guys liked it. And then I worked on, wrote a little bit of season 10, and then got to do the Chorus trilogy, and then made an anime with my friends, and now I get to write a bunch of jokes and stuff for cartoons, and it's the best thing ever. So yeah.
I did fan art, like, so, you know, kids out there, do fan art. No, one day Achievement Hunter was having like a postcard contest where you got a free t-shirt from another company if they liked your postcard enough. And so I was like, I love free t-shirts, let's do this.
That's all I wear.
Yeah, pretty much, t-shirts are great. So yeah, sent it, they liked it. A year later, Jack got a hold of me. It was just like, hey, do you want to do another thing? But this time, like, for us, just alone, because we liked your first one. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Slowly kept working from there, and then kept going and making cool stuff. And then before I knew it, I was just at lunch one day, and the producer at the time called me and asked, like, hey, we've heard your name around the office. Would you like to come work on, you know, animation? I had not done animation or anything like it, but I could draw. So I said yeah, and came in, and then, yeah, started at the very, very beginning of RWBY, and I've worked on, I've lost count of how many productions in the past, like, almost 5 years. But yeah, no, it's been pretty amazing, like, and now I'm here. So, hey.
That's enough. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I was.
More quick draw.
Yeah.
I was trying to convince him to do quick dronk
So
tonight, but
Oh, yeah,
he was
really?
up
I
for
guess,
it.
Plug it.
plug. All right, so at 5 p.m., I don't know at what hall, in this building, in this very building, we are doing a panel called Drunk. It sounds like what it is for every. I'm
sounds like a made-up word.
taking requests from the audience. For every request I get, I take a shot. And
For every
Concerned murmurs are appropriate.
all the
yes.
parents in the audience
for
are just
every
like,
request
"Oh."
that you start drawing, not every, because everybody's gonna just request constantly.
Added bonus, I'm doing them physically.
You're
They
drawing
used to
physically.
be,
Normally he
they
does it
used
with
to
his
be
mind.
digital.
Analog.
They used to be digital. They're analog this year, and if you request a drawing, you get the drawing after I finish it.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna go
Dude.
naked me.
No?
Pat,
If I request,
You
to draw
all
it.
are invited. None of the people up here are.
Pat, you still need a moderator?
Oh, are you going to be moderating?
Yeah. A good crash.
Okay, no. Are you okay? Sean, you're out.
Yeah, please.
Great, you're
Oh
in.
no! Oh no! What?
No. No. Okay, I'll have both dads do it.
We're all
We will-
dads now.
You were
We will
first.
sort this out later, young
You
man.
were first. He was the backup if you dropped out.
Don't
So
make me
if
pull
you're
this
still
panel
doing
over.
it, oh God, I'll suck your dick later.
All right.
It's gonna be fun.
Welcome to Rooster Teeth
sorry,
Animation,
kids.
everybody.
I was an intern, and then I was going to school for programming to be in games, and then I got an internship because I had met Bernie at PAX one year when I went with my brother, I was lucky enough to get an internship, and then I started working there, and my dad kept telling me, you have to get a degree, and I said, but I got a cool job, and then eventually he relented, and I dropped out of college, and
Sorry?
I dropped out of college, and then so I started working about like a quarter way through season 8, then worked on season 9, season 10, and then Monty wanted to make an anime, and we said, cool, let's figure it out. And we all started working on that, and it's kind of been there ever since. Yeah.
Cohen, are you back? Hey, there he is. Priorities. Yeah. Cohen, introduce yourself. I don't think everybody understands that you are essentially a. Yeah, nice talking to you. Cohen, everybody. Cohen is essentially a walking version of Austin film history, which I'm going to let him explain. But whenever we're taking a breather, we're waiting for a render, or if we have a couple minutes between meetings to hear his war stories from working for Rodriguez or Linklater or all the crazy things that happen here in town.
Yeah. Are you recording this?
I mean, I think it's only technically streaming. So.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody on the internet is.
Cool. How y'all doing? talking about?
Cohen, what's your story?
Okay.
What was your path to here?
My name is Cohen Wooten, and I actually started. Started when I was 15 in the film industry, and my parents, they were, or I say my family, they were like wranglers and prop masters in the industry. So I kind of came in, and I kind of came up through that. I went to college. I went to college for English, decided that I wanted to do something different, and then ultimately found myself working in games as a writer. I worked for Doom. I wrote on Doom for a while, and then I wrote for Sony, and then taught at DigiPen for a while, and then ended up here. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do this really quick. I was a theater geek, junior high and high school, and then shout out to the thespians, and then my first degree. There's a theme you're going to catch is that everybody in Rooster Teeth Animation has a incredibly different path person, which either has they self-taught or they had some formal education afterwards, or they overdid it. I got an acting degree, which wound up being so profitable that I went back and got a computer science degree, and that's how I made my cheddar for, I don't know, what are you using these days? That's how I pay the bills for about 10 or 12 years. So I was voice acting on the side, doing anime voices and theater nights and weekends, and occasionally independent film stuff, and then decided, I'm going to shoot myself if I have to spend the rest of my life this way. I want to find a way to make production my full-time job. So then said goodbye to the high-tech industry, and with whatever little was left in my bank account, I had exactly that much time until I could find a way to make a living doing production, and then got involved in the indie production scene here in Austin, and started doing visual effects jobs through our new lead compositor, Zane. And then I came on board Rooster Teeth for RVB9 as an effects artist, and then went effects artist, editor, producer, occasionally some live action stuff, and then now I get to lead the animation department. So the message here is that, whether you instantly know what your path is and you've got that perfect forward momentum and you're just go, or if it takes some time and maybe you have to reboot your life a couple of times before you get it right, it doesn't matter so long as it all works out in the end, I think would be the one takeaway I would want to beat anybody over the head with as far as that's concerned. And we're just the people on stage. So again, you were introduced a couple of minutes ago to everyone, all the other wonderful people of Rooster Teeth Animation. So, we're going to do Q&A here in a little bit, and aim your question at absolutely anybody from any discipline. It doesn't necessarily have to be those of us here on stage. If you want to talk about what it's like to develop custom software tools for animators or visual artists, or what's going on in the visual effects team, or what's going on in production, or whatever, just call out your question and we'll grab the right person to come up and answer it. Actually, with that, why don't we just go ahead and let's just open up to the crowd. Let's just make this a good conversation or panel. We got 2 mics. Please be careful of the folks running the cameras. And we've got some time, so no need to rush. Just nice and calm. Enjoy your air conditioning on this Saturday afternoon.
It's hot.
It's gonna be good.
No.
Is that Alex?
Yes, I have a question
God damn
for
it.
Miles.
What do you want?
Out.
We can't hear you, Alex.
He works with us. What do you want?
I do. Hi,
I am your favorite.
Yeah, I know. Miles, this question's for you.
It's gonna be about what I'm wearing. What?
No, it's where's all the Topo Chico in the office, Joe?
Wait, how did you learn about this?
I think John
Joe?
Bass wants to know about this.
What'd you do to all the Topo Chico?
Well, that's a great question. Joe?
Joe's not here.
It's still in the building.
I was working in the writer's room one day where we have a tiny little mini fridge in case we brought lunch. And the door comes open, and Joseph Nicolosi standing there with an entire pallet of Topo Chico mineral water. And I said, "Hey, Joe, what are you doing?" And he said, "I'm stashing these here. This is my secret Topo Chico because I love Topo Chico, and I need some, and when I don't have some, I get stressed. Please don't tell anybody about this." And I went,
If you're not from the area, it's sparkling water.
and I went, "Okay." cool. And he
like,
left, and
the
immediately.
last thing you said was, Joe, your secret is safe with me.
Meanwhile, the writer's room in the new studio, the writer's room and the producer's office that I try not to live out of, but I pretty much am these days. I'm on a Skype call with a business partner, and I hear this ka-thunk, chicka, 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 and I hear glass rattling, and the walls are shaking. I can't tell what the fuck's going on. So I come out, and I go, Miles, what's going on?
And I said, Joe's stashing a bunch of Topo Chico in the mini fridge. Wow.
From across the studio, Joe hears this.
Pointing at me.
Yeah.
Joe gets and goes, Miles, what the fuck?
We actually,
I literally just told you not to tell anyone. I went, yeah, but it's great.
we actually pay Joe. We pay Joe in Topo Chico. That's
But here's where things get a little messy, Joe. I was like, look, hey, Gray's cool, all right? We can trust Gray. Also, he's animation dad, and we have to tell him everything, because otherwise we're grounded. And I was like, and it's fine. I mean, look, Joe just went out, got himself some Topo Chico. He just wants to keep it secret. And he went, oh no, I got this from the storage. You stole from the others.
That's true, I did.
Then at that point, I didn't feel bad at all.
There
You're
was
no
that
good dirty
Slack
thief.
message where it's like, please don't take cases of Topo Chico out of the storeroom. And I was like, that's directed directly at me.
I was wondering why that message went out. 'Cause
Hey,
I was
did you
just
put
like,
the Topo Chico back?
Oh, hell no, man. That's my secret stash. It's a
There's your answer,
best kept
Alex.
secret.
Don't think
Sorry,
it's a,
Devin.
it's not a very good secret.
Yeah, which also kind of brings up, in case people didn't know, yeah, Rooster Teeth Animation moved just a few months ago. We've got our own building that we share with Rooster Teeth Games. That's just a couple minutes down the road, and that's been kind of cool to finally have our own dedicated space.
It has windows, which is nice.
Yeah, we can actually, it's no longer the Vegas casino atmosphere that Stage 5 has got.
Walls could be stronger.
Yeah, we dedicated. I don't know if you guys caught it on social. We were talking about this at the Ruby panel the other day. We dedicated the mocap area to be the Monty motion capture performance stage. So yeah. So the idea is like you get inspired by him and kind of listen for his spirit a little bit before you go in and you do your mocap performance. But
The K-pop will.
that's
never
because we
go
actually
away.
play it during mocap. But that's all right. Yeah. But anyways, next question.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I've been a 3D modeler for the last few years, and I was wondering if I could hear your thoughts on breaking into the animation industry, coming from formal education versus being self-taught. And this can be directed to anybody, including the modelers.
Yeah. Where are Tim and Brent? You guys here?
Any modelers in here?
Modelers? Modelers.
I'm looking
Any
at one
modelers?
right now.
Alex.
I guess
There's
one-
only one here.
Alex, come here.
Yeah, Alex, get up here.
While Alex makes his way up, the one thing I would mention is to have
Alex
a
wins.
pretty solid portfolio that shows everything you possibly can do. And have something that is hard surface modeling, have character modeling, stuff like that. Be able to show texture work and everything else. Be able to break it out so that professionals can see exactly how you did it. Having a reel along with that is really important as well.
Okay, keep going, Alex. No, keep going.
And how did you come to work for
I actually, a lot of my, I guess, learning came from the in-between of high school and college. I kind of knew what I wanted to do, get into games related. I mean, it's kind of related. And I kind of self-taught myself in high school, or that summer after high school. So I went to high school with Kerry, and that's actually how I really got here. So connections, make as many connections as you can. Post forums.
To be fair, all I did was I showed everybody. I was like, "Hey, we need modelers. Here's my friend," and then I just backed away.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not part of this anymore.
You didn't start as a modeler, didn't you? You started as a rigger, right? You started doing rigging for us.
No,
first,
no,
right?
it was originally
You did some modeling.
So
and then,
that
and
was
then you did
way
some,
back
like,
Ruby 1.
Render help too. Like you did.
Yeah,
a couple
I did
things,
render
yeah.
stuff. I did rigging stuff, which, oof. But I would say practice as much as you can. Post on forums. Forums, you get criticisms from fellow modelers, and you can learn other tips. You can learn many other things. Yeah, just practice. I would say just keep practicing. Keep trying to connect with people. That's probably one of the biggest things that can help you, honestly.
And how does all the hours in Destiny help you as a modeler? Are you still like in the top 10 in the world? Where are you?
Alex,
how
many
does you
hours?
rank?
How many hours? Give me a number. Give me a number.
He can't measure it in hours anymore. How many months? Dude, come on.
Fire Team Ogre.
It's like over 2,500 hours.
He's a very good employee.
To be fair, I will say Destiny has probably some of the most visually appealing weapons that I've kind of seen in a while. So I do honestly a lot of times I play games
Research.
just to research. Yeah. I'll be in the middle. I'll be in the middle of a match, like kind
He
of
just got a headshot, no scope, and he's like,
I'm like looking at the ground
Yeah.
and stuff, just like at different things.
He
so,
writes all the
to be
expansions
fair.
off on his taxes.
Yeah. So, thanks for embarrassing me. Thanks, guys.
Alex Juarez, everyone.
Seriously, he's a badass. If you're on a raid, you need him. I love you. Yeah, thanks. Next question.
Okay, this one's more directed at Gray, Kerry, and Miles. How
We're
would you
sorry.
guys-
Whatever it is, we're sorry.
How would you guys feel if someone were to make prop lightsaber hilts based on your Ruby characters' weapons?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like
Amazing
read
is
theme
how
stuff?
I feel.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah, legal might come after you if you try to sell them. But
It has to be.
I've got Kerry's right here.
Oh, hello. Oh,
And
wow.
Miles and Gray, yours will be tomorrow at your signing.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
You don't have to do that. Thank you for spending time on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is super cool. Also, nice cosplay.
She said hors d'oeuvre.
Next question.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, so this is directed at Gray, Kerry, and Miles. I'm kind of sorry ahead of advance, but me being Crow, I've actually had a big strain of horrible luck, irony of it all. And it's that I've been incapable of doing any signings, so I was wondering if you had time at all, if you could sign my sword.
We can do this one, but after this, let's just do only questions. But yeah, we can sign this one. I think we can sign this one.
Yeah, we are trying to be as accessible as possible. You know, I tried to make my way through the show floor. I did a bunch of signings there. I was at the VIP party last night. Kerry, you did the impromptu
Yeah,
signing
I
today?
did one too. Just watch our Twitters as well, because like we'll just like there's certain areas that they like us to do, so we don't cause a commotion. But we'll always just tweet out like, "Hey, I'm over here now. Come over here."
Yeah.
That's what I sound like.
Here you go.
Don't touch something like that.
There you go. You look great.
That was from the wedding that was earlier.
There, Joe, I think this is your bachelor rose. But thanks. Next
Damn it,
question.
No, hold on. All right, one more time. Oh, wait. There we go.
By the way, we're selling that soon.
Oh, that was basic. Sorry.
Okay, so Kerry, Miles, Jordan, one of the problems I seem to have when writing, besides the fact that you guys have made it so I can't write an action scene without listening to rock music, is grammar. So my question is, like, when you guys write, like, scripts and stuff, like, do you just write it without a care in the world and then, like, pass it off to, like, an intern or somebody and then laugh evilly as you, like, run away?
I'm the worst at grammar. I'm not good.
My favorite thing is how Kerry writes "yeah."
I'm finally getting him to stop. I'm finally getting him to stop.
How do you write yeah?
How does he
How do
write
you spell the word yeah, Kerry?
Y-E-A.
Wrong!
It takes so long to type the H.
You're saying yay. You're spelling yay. It's like, hey, do you guys want to go get a drink? Yay, for sure.
Yeah, well, A, that's how I feel. Yeah. So, yeah, fuck you.
You just said yeah!
Yeah, because that's how it should be. Also, you're choosing to read it that way. Yay is Y-A-Y.
There's the
No,
other
no, there's
yay.
yay and
There's
nay.
two types of yay.
No, yeah, Y-A-Y. Done.
Who here
Done.
spells yeah?
What looks like it, though? What looks like it?
I'll fight you.
Who here spells the word yeah with an H at the end?
Everyone.
No, there's not some,
Correct.
there's some hands that aren't up.
There's
see?
some people like, I just do Y-A. Shut up. Learn to type.
Of course, we're actually at the point now, let's all cop to it, like whenever we're instant messaging or whatever these days, it's just Y-E. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, yeah, that's when like something's like definitely and you're like, yeah. I do that to you a lot, actually, yeah. Yeah. I mean, in terms of everything else, like when I'm like first writing a scene, I do not give up. gosh darn about. Oh, I do not give a fuck about any. Like, it doesn't matter.
This does not meet the chibi animation department.
Yeah, you're right. And then it's usually the first person to read it, which is usually you. If I've written something, I just like I'll be like, all right, cool. Can you read through this? And you'll be reading, and you'll just go. And keep reading, and then. And I'm like, I forgot an A there. I forgot to put an and or something. But I mean, it's it's definitely you have to get a second set of eyes on it because like if you're reading through it over and over again, you get so focused on what I consider the important part that you stop seeing typos of your own sometimes. So it's always really good.
Yeah.
When I first started. Bernie used to have me read all the scripts that he wrote because he would do that a lot, and I have to like circle the top right if there's something on the page for him to go fix. Because he was at a thing where he would like use a word and then use it again shortly after, which I mean is a thing that happens to us too. It's like, oh shit, this sentence has 2 totallys in it, so we got to fix that because that's forbidden.
Absolutely won't have it.
It's always a little embarrassing when they go to recording and there's still a typo in there and the actor reads the dialogue as it's written.
That's because I refuse to fix your mistakes.
It's like we'll leave out a word or something. I think there was one Nikki line where it was supposed to be, whoa, did somebody get murdered? And it said, did someone get murdered?
Yeah. It's how we learn.
It was like,
It could work
was
though.
someone.
Sometimes they work.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does feel rather Nicky. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Thanks.
Next question.
So my question's for Joe. As an experienced filmmaker and someone who hadn't worked on RVB before season 14, what's it like working in a medium as unconventional as machinima?
Yeah, how fun is it?
Oh, it's so much fun. Everything about it is just great. Nothing about it is horrible at all. I'm lying. It's terrible. I can't even have characters walk around a room because their legs glitch out and flip in weird directions, and their colors are always changing.
Is there anybody from 343 in the room?
Because I got a list. Yeah, no, it's like every restriction is an interesting challenge, and it leads to very creative decisions when it comes to directing scenes. I think I am challenged when I do my overheads and my layouts for scenes to come up with very creative ways to show how people are feeling based on cinematography and blocking in ways that I would never normally think about if they had faces or could move.
Good question.
Yeah.
That was an awesome question. Good answer. Thank you.
So Monty once went on the record saying that he felt that animating fight scenes was much, much, much easier for him than animating regular casual scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, what are your guys' personal opinions? Which one is easier?
Depends on the animator.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Can I tell a story real quick?
Please.
I called him out on that once. I've never seen the man so angry. I was just like, yeah, but you can't do drama. And he was just like, turned around, he was like, excuse me? And I was like, oh. I was like, you can't. You can fight like a man, dude, you're awesome, but you can't do drama. I've never seen him fight and have an argument with me for so long.
I'm pretty sure, I think immediately after that, he grabbed like a dialogue scene. He was like, I'm doing it now. Yeah, and it was good. Yeah. I think, I mean, and if there's any animators that want to come up and talk about this, but I think, I don't know that one is easier than the other. It just kind of depends on what it is. I mean, obviously fights are a lot more complicated. There's a lot more moving pieces. So from a technical level and from like a blocking and layout level, I mean, like, yeah, they're going to be more difficult. But that's what it all comes to the way you do. I mean, like, that's what he did all the time, and he made them. So he, had his shortcuts, and this is true for anybody. It's like, if you do something a lot, you have your shortcuts, you have your, I know if I do this and this, it'll work. You have all these things. But I mean, they're very different types of scenes, and it's important to remember that. But I don't know that one is like objectively harder than the other.
Well, I mean, it's like, look at Harley versus Kim. Like, Harley is amazing with her facial and dialogue animation and all that, and then Kim is this badass fight animator. And it's just different people have different strengths in different areas and find things easier, and it's just people are different.
Yeah, and the good thing is they're both needed and important.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would also say, I mean, sometimes it's the things that you can relate to more, are going to be the harder ones to do. You know, everybody in this room has had a one-on-one conversation with somebody and possibly in a really emotional moment. Not everybody flies through the air with their dust-enhanced martial arts and so forth. And I think, you know, being able to pull off the nuances necessary for a complicated, character-driven, emotional moment where it's just two people being honest with each other, I think that's, you know, just as much of an interesting challenge to me as martial arts choreography.
I would say that at times we scrutinize the talking head scenes, the emotional moments, more than we do the fights. Because if something doesn't hit and it won't resonate with the fans, you can't release it.
Yeah, and it's you know, and over the years we've gotten a lot better about this too. I mean, like, you know, you can have a technical error in a fight, like, you know, a foot could clip through a skirt or something like that. No one sees it because it's on for 3 frames and it's in the middle of everything, and by the time you've even like had the thought, you've already seen like the next cool thing. But if something like that happens in a dialogue scene, then that's all you're staring at the entire shot. You're going, why is there shirt during that? Why is there shirt during that? Why is there shirt during that? And you lose focus. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times we have to put even more polish into the dialogue scenes as well. So, you know, because of that, it can make them harder too.
Thanks.
Yeah. Great question.
Hi, I'm Adam, and my question goes to Miles Luna, and who are the other digital illustrators in you?
The what? What's about?
The what?
The digital illustrators among you.
Hello.
Oh, hi there.
Then I
would like
to,
yeah, hi, how you doing? I would like to know the process of how you put your illustrations into the final touch of your animated series. Did you put the drafts you did on Photoshop or other source softwares that allow you to draw or paint, and install them into Maya, and then into the final draft of that TV series?
Yeah, Miles, tell us how you draw.
When I approach a piece of artwork, I go out and I cut down the tallest fucking tree I can find, and I take it to a lumber mill, and then I turn it into paper, and then I get the paints and I paint on it, and I don't do any art for anything. I'm a writer, but he can answer your question.
I was really confused. So I was like, then you carve it? Yeah, I get the tallest tree and then I rub my dick against it. Oh God, sorry.
That's how art is made. Thank you, good night.
No. So yeah, as far as programs go, we in Console use Photoshop. Like that's our deal. Yeah, I hate both of you. Every once in a while, if I get like a new character or stuff like that, I'll go off with my notebook and just sit off in a corner and just doodle different things like Dirty and Roughly and just kind of keep to myself. And then from there, it's then a process of, you know, it's throughout it, I'm communicating with the directors and the writers and getting their, you know, what they want, what they're feeling about the character.
Draw for me.
Exactly. Yeah,
Make it blue.
No, not that blue. A different blue.
Yeah, a lighter blue, please.
But not.
Oh no,
but
not
a
blue.
But more of a green blue, not a blue green.
I want green.
That
That is
happens.
an actual
Oh heavens, no, not
See, yes, it is. Gray, screw you. It's green, blue, and you know it.
I got 100% of that web test. And
So did I.
The internet doesn't lie.
Anyway, so yeah, and then it goes through all this pipeline. Before it was, oh no, it's still Max. Yeah, through the modelers. Yeah, it's Autodesk. And going through all that kind of good
Or
stuff.
Toon Boom, you know, we model with that.
Or Toon Boom, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Oh my God, I hate you.
Yeah, we exist.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Who is she anyway?
Were you not here for the beginning?
Wow.
You weren't listening. We're not
No.
answering the rest of your question.
Thank you, good night. Next question.
Sorry about that.
Come back.
No. That is the producer of 2D and runs all the cool damn
And she
shit.
rules.
It's
My
awesome.
mom clapped for me.
What's up, handsome?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good.
My question's actually for you, Miles. The question is, you mentioned...
I start by cutting down a tree. Sorry, please continue.
It wasn't about a tree, but thanks. I'll ask that next time. The question is, you mentioned earlier how you got into Rooster Teeth through your friends and an internship. I was wondering if you guys still do the internship program, because I would really love to work for you guys. Hey, I'll be your coffee boy, or
Hey man, no, we absolutely still do the internship program. You
Yeah,
might
so
know
I
more
mean,
about it.
we do summer, fall, and spring throughout the year. I would pay attention to both like the main Rooster Teeth social media channels. They'll tweet out a link when there's another call for interns, but it's it's /careers off of roosterteeth.com. Just pay attention to that, and they're going to update whenever the next call is.
You need to be able to receive school credit.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's gotta be
yeah.
school credit.
I don't know like if local's a thing or not.
Typically.
There's no relocation assistance or anything like that, so you pretty much got to be local, particularly if you're taking classes at the same time. And then, yeah, you have to be legitimately a student, and you have to be able to receive credit for your internship. So.
Do I have to be a student here because I'm a student elsewhere?
If you're a student elsewhere, but you are taking the credit as a summer course credit, then that is one way where if you don't go to school nearby, you could come out here and intern over the summer or something like that.
Okay.
Apply.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Oh, it's Spider-Man.
Hey everyone.
That's my Stanley impression.
That was
You like
really
it?
good. I liked it. Yeah. Thank you. So I had a question. I want to get into voice work, and so as a
Is it because you don't have a face?
for some experience, I was wondering if you guys had any anime that you'd like to see a fan dub done of, like really passionate anime that you want to see have a dub.
That doesn't already?
Right, that doesn't, or even if it like.
I didn't quite hear the question.
Because I'm a really big fan of like TFS abridged, or so if there's just an anime that like you want something done with a little more comedy, or just an anime that has a dub.
Kill la Kill's pretty good. That'd be fun.
Kill la Kill's good.
Because I was also thinking of doing like Grimgar, Fantasy, and Ash. Because I've been following the fan service podcast, and I was like, I really want to do this show.
Sounds like
it's
you got a
just
good
so
idea
good.
already.
I mean, yeah.
You've got like a built-in pop filter too. It's great.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Or just go ahead and do the abridged version of fan service. Just overdub us.
You know,
Have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll look into it.
Yeah,
Thank
nothing off
you.
the top of my head, but yeah, I think Kill la Kill. I think that'd be a really amusing one. That's a good idea. Sure.
Yeah, there's plenty of things you can make fun of in that show.
Yeah, no, just do what
Nothing
you want to spend hours on. That's the real thing.
Yeah, do what you're gonna have the most fun doing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey,
Thank you.
homecoming was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's him.
That's the
Hey,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, that was your one. Everyone gets one, and that was yours.
Adam.
That was a bad joke.
Hey,
Next
bud.
question.
Hey, I don't know how many of you were involved with this, but since Genlock has been a real big thing, and Gray's announced it now a couple of times, what was the conception behind that idea, and when did you know that it was gonna be a thing?
That's like, real quick, were you in either the first Ruby panel or the RVB panel? No?
Oh no.
So maybe you didn't see the thing yet? Hey, if, let's all sync up for a minute. If Tech backstage could please run the other video.
Oh, did you already give it to him?
Of course he did.
Is it in the folder? They have it?
They
Or
may
do you
not have it, but
are you
I'm pulling
driving
up my
off the
laptop.
Oh, we got a laptop.
If the guy at the end of the table with the laptop could please run the...
I don't know what's gonna happen to the audio, guys. Hang on, I'm gonna try a cheap episode real quick.
If there's no audio, we'll just beatbox. It's cool.
Boom, puntas, boom, boom, puntas.
Oh, wait. No, we can...
Boots and cats and
hang on.
boots and cats and boots and cats. Huh? Oh, cool.
Hey, we have audio.
That's chibi.
Okay. Cool. Can we cut to my laptop, please?
Yes. Do it.
Nope. No, we cannot.
Can we see the
If
laptop?
Tech backstage could please cut to the laptop.
That would be cool. Oh, yes. Do it, Kerry.
Play.
So that's it. That's the whole show. Hope you like it.
Hey, Gray, what are we doing?
Yeah, so we started talking about it in certain panels yesterday. We were announcing that Rooster Teeth Animation is making a brand new series. We're making a mecha show. Yeah. And it's been kind of crazy. There's our marketing department. We can't get into too much detail right this second. But what's happening is hopefully there might be an article early next week with a little bit more detail, and maybe you'll get to see just a little something else about it.
Spoiler: Joe Nicolosi's doing all the concept work.
in Lego. No, really. No, this is something that we've been for about a year and a half trying to. We wanted to challenge Rooster Teeth Animation, and we wanted to begin to develop a new series. And we'd been, people have been pitching ideas, and there are a couple of cool ones that, we want to do someday that maybe were not right now type of ideas. I pitched something in the next round of brainstorming, which would have been early last summer. And so it's like the idea for Genlock's been around for about a year. It was before I saw certain shows, and we'll talk about that later.
It still feels dirty to say out loud because it's been a secret for so long. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
weird.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I know this is kind of weird. No, I'm making this up on the fly. I haven't, I probably should have pre-gamed this a little bit more, but.
No, I'm just saying like the word out loud. Like if
Finally
Oh,
being able
yeah.
to say Genlock is
Yeah,
really cool.
We weren't allowed to say
It's
the
weird
word
to
for
say
a
the
while.
title, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's called Genlock. But it made it through the creative committee where we received permission to go ahead and start developing that. So late last year and early this year, pretty much in parallel to working on Ruby 4 and a little bit afterwards, we began doing some writing on it and starting to do some concept art. We've, from the Rooster Teeth Animation internal art team, we had Pat and Aaron and Kevin working on it and starting to do some designs. And then they got busy with a whole thing called Ruby. So then we started working with a couple of folks, Gavin Manners, and also that teaser image there. How many people know speaking of working with people from the Rooster Teeth community, how many people know the Ruby fan artist Dishwasher 1910? That was his image. Yeah, so I called, in case you don't know, his real name is Bach. I reached out to him and said, hey man, we're working on a thing right now and I need some concept paintings. What are you up to? And it turns out he's an art student and was wrapping up his semester at the same time that we reached out. But I'm happy to report he got his classes done and also did some additional work for the show that hopefully you'll be able to see some more of soon. But so that was kind of a ramble to that. Oh, I brought a little something for the first person who asked a Genlock question. Here, we can't sell these yet, but if you want a Genlock shirt, I got exactly one on me.
Boom.
Damn.
Hope it fits.
Yeah.
I have to go sit up for another panel, so bye everyone.
Bye.
See you, Maggie.
Who was she anyway?
But anyways, it's
You're such an asshole.
Maggie, love you. It's coming soon, which does not mean this year. But stay tuned. More details coming out. I'll tell you what. A couple other things we can say real quick. I'm starting to see some buzz about it online. A lot of the common questions have to do with the following. It's going to be a little more real mech than super mech. So it's a little more, Gundam Altnoa Zero than say Gurren Lagann. And then it's going to have a whole bunch of other influences from things that we love, plus some new stuff that we're jamming in there, and we're going to put it in a blender, and hopefully something new and cool will come out from it. So.
Yeah.
We're really excited.
We're very excited.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question. Let us play the video.
Over here.
You want to follow that up?
Yeah. Well, first off, I'll say checking in. Former Rooster Teeth intern. Hey, Miles.
Is that Kevin?
Yeah, it's Kevin.
What's up, dog?
Greetings from the Space Department at NASA. So, yeah.
Damn.
When you go into the moon.
That's right, everyone.
Smarter than
Be an
us.
intern, and you can go to space. Anyways, question for at least Miles. I don't want to take up everyone's time, so as many people are as willing to answer as possible. But considering we have an arrayment of master craftsmen up here, which is, since you guys have started at Rooster Teeth, what creation are you the most proud of, and why is that?
Oh, man.
I'm just waiting for a Strangerhood joke.
Oh, well, damn it, Greg.
I was gonna say Dwayne The Rock from X-Rain Bad.
Dwayne The Rock's great.
Such a good gag.
Voiced by Dwayne The Rock, too. Unbelievable that you guys got him.
Uncredited. Got him before Kinda Funny did.
Yeah,
Crazy.
super cool. Shit, that's a pretty impossible question. Yeah, man. I mean, like, literally anything that has brought joy to another person is incredible. And that's why this is, like, my favorite time of year other than Christmas. Because it's like, we can put a face to comments, and it's, like, I met a dude yesterday that was like, hey, I've been to cons before, and I normally don't talk to people, but here, everybody has one thing in common. That's, like, they like Rooster Teeth stuff. And we played Cards Against Humanity while we were just waiting in line, and now I have a bunch of friends now, and it's like, are you kidding me? That's incredible. So the fact that I'm even able to be a part of something like that is, I couldn't be more proud. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing I'm most proud of is the thing we just finished. We improve all the time. We have an amazing tech team. We have an amazing, art team. We have an amazing post team, an animation team, and they're always improving and they're pushing themselves and they take their job really, really seriously. So it's not, no one ever just phones it in. Every single day, people are they're asking Kerry questions. Can we try this? How do you feel if we go take it to this next step? And we never stop. So it's the thing we just finished. And once we get back to work on Monday, it'll be the thing we finish on that day, and then on Tuesday, and so on.
Thanks.
So since we're in single-digit minutes now, do you want to do lightning round?
Oh boy, my favorite part.
Yeah. Let's try and get through as many questions as we can.
Oh my, am I not going to have much time here on this one?
Oh, that's okay. But let's talk. What you got?
All right, very well. How well can you hear me, first of all? Good, fine. Okay then.
This
Greetings.
is a great start to lightning.
What's the
Greetings.
question? Lightning round.
Okay, this one, Gray, Joe, Miles, Kerry, and Patrick. This one is aimed at you.
You skipped me,
Since
but it's
you
okay.
guys,
Fuck you. Who are you?
It is purely because you all are involved in Red versus Blue and Ruby, which are the ones that I am also a fan and watcher of. And the question, it's technically two things, but the other one can hopefully wait until the end.
All right, need your lightning round, bud.
Are you fucking with us? Question.
You got 6 more minutes to get it out.
All right.
I'm not going
Just
any
give me
quicker
part
here.
one, subsection
Okay.
A.
Okay, you've obviously, we are a loving, caring, but often...
Yep, okay. If you don't ask the question next, we're moving on.
You guys, how do you take criticisms and complaints received towards the show?
Okay.
All right, yeah. My apologies.
Criticism is a painful but necessary process. The ones that hurt the most are the ones that you know are 100% true, and you go, shit, yep, we fucked that up. I'll try and not do it again. The criticism that sucks are the ones that are just shouted at you. Those are the ones that are hard because even if sometimes they're right, you don't want to listen to them because people are being rude about it. But criticism is incredibly important, and everyone needs to listen to that.
Yeah, thank you
We
very much.
listen to it between every season, every show, everything. We look at everything.
Yeah.
That is outstanding.
Cool. Thank you.
very
Goodbye.
Thank you.
So I just have a quick paragraph here. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, thank you, God. I was about to fucking throw a lightsaber at you. All right.
You will not.
I will not. Sorry, let him talk.
Okay, so my question is aimed specifically, towards, I guess, everyone on the panel. But, so I'm more of a writer, and I just wanted to know, what is the creative process that goes behind creating like a new series, like say the creative process that went behind Camp, or just like a quick rundown of like what you.
You gotta set the stage and flesh everything out. You gotta know exactly how everything works, who all the characters are, so that you can make something interesting right off the bat instead of developing it as the show airs. That's probably one of the biggest things we learned from doing Camp is we had extra time to develop it. And I think that helped a lot with it because it kind of felt like a full show when it started. For me, on a personal level, it's kind of all about the characters. So
same. I think
once you get those together, then you start to realize like what situations you can put them in, how they'll act, how that's funny, how that's scary, whatever it is.
If you put two of your characters in a room with absolutely nothing else in it, and you can still think of something interesting to happen, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Hi.
How do you keep from getting burnt out when working on something cool?
It's actually a kind of a good question. Well, yes and no. I mean, the challenge is trying to stay fresh to it and not going numb, because if it's something that you've been staring at for so long, then you start to question things that don't need to be questioned, or you're not sure what's still funny even though you've seen that shot 1,000 times now, maybe it's not funny to you anymore. But no, you got to have faith that, well, it worked when you put it together and everyone else has not seen it yet. So there's a certain type of self-censorship or second guessing that you got to strike a balance with.
Yeah, I have the blessing and curse of working on a bajillion different shows, so just mixing it up with something else for a little while. Like if you're working on something for a long time and you're getting like drowned out, like give yourself a side project, do something else for a little bit, and then come back to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the guy in front of me took my question, so I'm just gonna say this and run. Like you all, thank you for doing all you do. You guys are all my heroes in your own right.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Good question. Lightning compliment. Awesome.
We'll take it. Hey, I realized that by the end of Volume 4, there was like something inefficient about Team Ranger. So when they went to landed in Anima, why couldn't they take a second boat to Mistral or a train or an airship from a port city?
Well, weather was really, really bad.
Sorry, I missed the first part. What was
It
that?
was essentially like, why didn't they just like fly all the way there and stuff?
Oh, I mean, it's because of the dust, man. the dust prices. No, I mean, no, seriously, like yeah, we get into it a couple episodes in, but I mean, like the Shinny Dust Company had been starting to lock down, because of the Atlas military has been starting to lock down how much dust was getting out there. So, you know, air travel is not actually as common as it used to be anymore ever since the fall of Beacon. So,
especially through like a dangerous part of the world like that. Like, since it's such a dangerous part, like you want to restrict, like you want to keep your people around, so you wouldn't just let pilots go through there.
Yeah, and travel, I know this is like kind of a boring answer, but it's like for teenagers in the real world, it'd kind of be hard to just travel around the world on a teenage budget. Fortunately, they can fight monsters, and you can fight monsters if you kind of go from town to town and make some money along the way.
yeah, and they try to get to airships, but they're always down.
Destroyed or
yeah.
something awful happens or someone loses the map. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we got time for a few more.
Hello. Do you have any advice for a young wannabe director and writer?
Do stuff and finish it.
Yeah.
And put it out. And, you know, start local. You know, get online, find your local community, find some friends to help you.
If you
help
wanna
out
write
with
in-
student projects. If you're close to a high school or college, I guarantee they're going to be putting up listings at the end of every semester. Hey, we're doing a thesis project. Please, you know, if you've ever wanted to be on a set before, please come out and help us. That's a great way to learn and just keep, you know, upping your game from there.
Yeah, do a lot of stuff. Don't make a film, make a dozen films, and write a TV pilot and a feature, and edit your friend's movie. Just do everything for like 10 years.
Find other writers too. You know, find a support group, things you can have people read, have readers for your stuff, and get feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah. But most importantly, finish it and put it out somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Go.
Hi. When you're scared to put your work out there, you know, fearing that your art or writing animation isn't good enough, what is the best advice you could give to overcome that fear?
Know that people are going to say mean stuff about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
don't have a
sucks,
choice.
but yeah. One of the beautiful things about the internet is that it got rid of the middleman in a lot of industries and stuff, and now you can put stuff out there and get immediate feedback. You just got to prepare yourself that people aren't going to like it, but if people do like it, that's really cool. Even if there's just one person out there that liked it, hold on to that.
Yeah. If you find an answer to your question, let me know.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
No, part of this is make peace with that question continue to go off in the back of your head for the rest of your career. Hopefully it doesn't go away. Hopefully, you know, you just start making more stuff and you just keep learning more and doing more and never stop learning and growing. Yeah. But you're always going to be questioning it.
Yeah, every episode we put out, even if we're super excited about it, we are nervous the minutes before release because making art is making yourself vulnerable. It's putting a part of you out there. Just remember that maybe if you make something that people think is bad, that doesn't mean you're bad at all. You're great.
And I'm so sorry, this is going to have to be the last question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
No.
This guy.
This is going to be the last question.
Oh, snap.
Make it a long one.
Yeah.
Hello! My name is Maximus. I love you, Miles.
Hi.
I was at the Red vs. Blue panel, and Miles, I'm really mad at you for this. Okay. You left the entire budget for the 479er skit.
Oh, my picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, I did that. Sorry, everybody. Well, way to use the last question. That's going to be it.
Thank you all so much.
Guys, thanks so much for hanging
guys.
out. We've got the animation festival panels and screenings still continuing throughout the weekend. There's another Ruby panel tomorrow. The Screw Attack nighttime activities are tonight after the convention center closes. Have a fun weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.